Just one night, I'm ready to go right now. I'm ready to go right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, could we please stand for the playing of the national anthem by Ms. Shakir Martin. Please be seated. President of the Senate, the Honorable Hazelyn Francis, Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Baldwin Spencer, Honorable members of the Cabinet, and Honorable members of Parliament, members of the Diplomatic Corps, executives of telecommunications and ICT companies, Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Information, Ms. Patricia Francis, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, listening and viewing audience, ICT enthusiasts, a pleasant good evening to you and welcome to Ictfest 2012. I am your moderator this evening, and I can promise you that I will be very brief. I think, however, that I should remark that a mere 8 years ago, Ictfest was just a dream. We started in 2005. We had an idea, we nurtured it, and certainly this is what we've achieved today. Ictfest has always been, and I think it will always continue to be, the place where executives and persons in the community come together, network, have a great time, and we get to hear fantastic new announcements about technology from none other than Minister Mansour. I'm sure he has some goodies for us today. Anyhow, as I said, I'll be brief. And we're going to have something which is not on our program, but we are going to have a message from the Secretary General of the ITDU, Dr. Hamadoun Touir.
Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Baldwin Spencer, Minister of State for Information, Broadcasting, Telecommunication, Science and Technology, Dr. Edmond Mansour, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished participants, I am delighted to welcome you to the 8th annual Ictfest here in St. John's, the premier ICT showcase in the Caribbean region. This year, Ictfest is focused on the rollout of the first LTE network in the Caribbean that will provide high-speed broadband mobile connectivity and enable a new world of convergence for voice, video, streaming, and data transfer. Beside empowering citizens with a powerful new communications tools, LTE broadband networks which provide low-cost, high-speed connectivity, will also provide incentives for existing and new businesses to enhance access to goods and services across the region. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the rollout of high-speed mobile broadband places Antigua and Barbuda firmly in the digital age of communications. I congratulate the government of Dr. Spencer in taking far-reaching measures that have paved the way for this historic development. This comes as no surprise, as Prime Minister Spencer played a key role at the landmark Rio Plus 20 conference that sought to shape new policies to promote global prosperity, reduce poverty, and advance social equity and environmental protection, for which he received due recognition as a South-South Award laureate. Dr. Spencer's contribution to the agenda of the future we want was recognized by the international community and heads of state and government, and he was instrumental in steering reference in the Rio Plus 20 outcome document to the critical role played by ICTs, especially broadband networks and services, in bridging the digital divide and achieving sustainable development. This important contribution sets the stage for much more to come. Ladies and gentlemen, as we move toward machine-to-machine communications or the Internet of Things, broadband networks will facilitate the efficient provision of services in areas including healthcare, education, energy management, transport systems, emergency services, and much more. Real-life services delivered over broadband networks include more efficient smart grids for electricity, medical records for long-distance diagnosis, and educational applications so that pupils can learn about their world. Broadband services can help generate genuine improvements in the lives of citizens around the world, including meeting our future goals for sustainable development. It therefore gives me great pleasure to see that proclamations made by Prime Minister Spencer on the international stage are being realized on the ground in his home country, as leading-edge mobile broadband networks of the digital age are set to provide services that will contribute to the broader goals of sustainable development in Antigua and Barbuda. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, ICTs are the powerhouses of the global economy and offer real solutions toward generating sustainable economic growth and prosperity. As the United Nations Specialized Agency for ICT and Telecommunications, ITU has focused on the growth and development of leading-edge information and communication technologies in every corner of the world. Earlier this year, ITU's World Radio Communication Assembly agreed specifications of IMT Advanced, deemed to be the next step in global wireless broadband communications, that will include increased spectrum efficiency to handle more users at higher data rates per radio channel, improved communication performance, and a fully packet-based architecture for reduced costs. As you may know, LTE technology is included in ITU's International Mobile Telecommunications or IMTS standards for mobile broadband wireless access. And LTE Advanced, along with Wireless MAN Advanced, have been selected as IMT Advanced technologies. Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, high-profile events like Ictfest bring the spotlight on new technologies and provide an exciting and stimulating environment where both layman and expert can explore new possibilities. ICT solutions are showcased as a means of fostering national development and meeting global challenges such as climate change. Young innovators and technicians are inspired to push the frontiers and develop new devices and apps. I look forward to further editions of Ictfest as an incubator of fresh ideas and innovation that will provide access to all citizens and continue to upgrade the intellectual capital of the world. I wish you all success in your endeavors and hope you have profitable meetings at Ictfest 2012. Thank you.
A little more than 1 year ago, at this Ictfest 2011, Minister Mansour issued a challenge, or some people call it an ultimatum, to the telecommunications companies to provide 4G technologies or else. I would like to welcome to the podium the CEO of one such company who took up the challenge and who have provided the first 4G LTE network in the Caribbean. We're going to have a few brief remarks from Mr. Victor Corcoran of Digicel.
President of the Senate, Honourable Hazelyn Francis, Honourable Prime Minister Dr. Baldwin Spencer, Honourable Members of the Cabinet and Honourable Members of Parliament, Executives of telecommunications companies and ICT companies, Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Information, Pat Francis, distinguished ladies and guests, good evening all. Welcome to Ictfest 2012. As CEO of Digicel Antigua and Barbuda, the Caribbean's first and only LTE 4G provider, I'm very, very excited to welcome you all to this wonderful showcase. As Clement mentioned, 12 months ago in this room, Minister Mansour put out a challenge to all the telecommunications providers to up their game and bring the latest in technology to these wonderful islands. Digicel shareholders and Digicel management took up that challenge. It has been a wonderful 12 months. Very, very challenging, very, very frustrating on occasions, but very, very rewarding. In the last 12 months, Digicel has invested 27 million EC dollars on infrastructure and technology in Antigua and Barbuda. We have rolled out not one, but two 4G networks. Our 4G HSBA Plus, which gives the latest in mobile broadband to phones and devices, and our 4G LTE, the first in the Caribbean, delivering high-speed internet to homes and businesses and youth across these islands. In addition, we have upgraded our full retail channel for this new opportunity. We've expanded our store in downtown St. John's. We have built 2 new stores. And we're very, very proud that we've invested in the training and development of the youth of these islands and have increased their headcount by over 50% in the last 12 months. But as I stand here tonight, proud of what we achieved, I'm always conscious we have much, much more work to do. As a partner in the historic GATE project, we have still many, many commitments to deliver on. We're very, very excited about the next 12 months as well. We believe that we can deliver radical change for the positive to these islands with the exciting LTE tablet program for children that this network now facilitates. We're excited about expanding and continuing to develop the ICT cadet program. We're excited about delivering on our commitment to roll out and build an ICT and special needs centre in St. John's. And we're excited about the potential, the possibility this new technology gives to the youth, to the businesses, to the entrepreneurs of this island to fully develop on their ideas, develop on their talent and release their dreams. If you're watching at home or listening tonight, have noticed Digicel has launched the Caribbean's first LTE network. Many are still wondering, what does this mean? I am not going to take up too much time tonight, but I invite you all to come in to this wonderful building, to this wonderful exhibition. Come in, look at the exhibitions, talk to the staff, meet the people, and learn about this technology and learn about what it can do for you and for these wonderful islands. But briefly, LTE, or long-term evolution, is the latest and most advanced form of 4G technology available today. It is the technology of choice for leading telecommunication companies across the world. Major carriers in the US and Europe are racing to roll out this technology in large cities there. And we're very, very proud to have brought it to Antigua and Barbuda, a Caribbean first and a Digicel first. In September of this year, we started to invite customers to test our network. Their feedback has been very, very positive. We invited participants to rate our network on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best possible score. And after hundreds of testers, we got an average score of above 4.4. So this technology is as good as we say it is. And we'd like to thank all our testers for their feedback and their help. We've also received real-life feedback from customers that they've been getting speeds of over 20 megabits per second download today in Antigua and Barbuda, where this is probably 20 times faster than anything available up until the launch of this network. I am going to let better and future presenters take you through what this means to the island. So before I finish, I'd just like to thank everybody who worked so hard to put together this wonderful showcase. As I've been walking around Multi-Purpose Cultural Exhibition Centre these last 2 days, I've been stunned by the energy, by the creativity, by the passion, by the amount of action that has been going on to pull this together. So I'd like to thank all those working for the Ministry and the Digicel team for the hard work in making this what will be the biggest, best, most extraordinary ICT Fest yet. Thank you very much.
We are now going to welcome back the saxophonist. Okay, slight change in the program. We're now going to have a few brief remarks from the Honorable Dr. Edmund Mansour.
Thank you very much. Madam President of the Senate, Honorable Prime Minister, members of the Cabinet, members of Parliament, Ms. Pat Francis, Mr. Corcoran and his executive team from Digicel, the Lime Posse, Mr. Charles and his group. I want to welcome as well the group from CTV and all the companies. Thank you very much for accepting the invitation to be here this evening at the launch of ICT Fest 2012. I want to say that the ICT Fest 2012 committee has worked very hard and welcomes you, and welcome to the Caribbean's greatest ICT festival. As you've heard, this is our 8th year, and it is the biggest ever. We have literally outgrown this space. In 2005, which was our first year, we thought that we could provide an avenue for local ICT businesses and innovators to showcase their products and services. It was a very embryonic concept. In those days, Antigua Computer Technology came on board as a title sponsor and was a title sponsor for many years. And I want to thank ACT and Solomon Dumi sincerely for supporting that embryonic concept. I don't know if Solomon is in the audience. Thank you very much. Thank you. I also want to say that ICT Fest could never be possible without the support of companies like Digicel and Lime and ACT. And I want to say to Lime this evening and to Davidson Charles and his group, thank you for supporting ICT Fest over the years. Your contributions are significant and important to the development of the ICT sector. In 2011, the Ministry of Information was able to have Digicel come on board as a title sponsor for 5 years. So over a 5-year period, starting last year, Digicel has committed $250,000 to help us with the fest. Thank you to Digicel. And I want to say thanks to John Delves, who was the CEO at the time. This year, we have received solid support from CTV. So thanks to Romel Tawari and the CTV board, Special Security Systems, Mr. Purcell and Mrs. Purcell, SO Limited, Mr. Savory and his team, and Competitive Security. We have an interactive exhibition, a much larger one than in previous years, and I would like to extend a special welcome to all the exhibitors, and in particular this year to a number of new companies, Optimum Computing, Exorum, which I think has joined us from Canada, Wayne Cook, thanks for coming to Antigua. FBO 2000, showcasing, I believe, robotic technology, Mr. Michael. And a young man, maybe not so young, Mr. Lake, you're in the audience. If you are, please stand. You're from the United Kingdom with Antiguan roots. Welcome, and welcome to ICT Fest 2012. The Ministry of Information itself has new services, new products on display. For the first time, we have an individual who is working along with the National Energy Desk. I happen to be very privileged and have him as an ICT consultant. Mr. Daryl Jackson is promoting green IT, and we have a booth there promoting Prime Minister and my colleagues green technology and what solar panels can do for our move towards green IT. Daryl, thank you very much. I know you're in the audience somewhere. We obviously are pushing GATE, and you'll hear more about that in the coming days. We also are exhibiting new media technologies, the digital technologies that you see before you. The other component of the fest are the seminars. For the first time this year, we have a double seminar on the opening night. Right after Arturo comes back on stage in a few moments, Arturo will conduct a master class sharing his experiences both as a musician and as a musical entrepreneur. We also have this evening, both of these starting simultaneously at 7:30 p.m., a digital photography seminar with Michael William Paul. Michael joins us from New York City. Michael, I saw you earlier on. Welcome, and we're looking forward to your photography seminar. We are twinning ICTs with career options and establishing the linkages to entrepreneurship. Wasn't Arturo just absolutely wonderful? Give him a round of applause. We are capturing this footage to put it on YouTube, and we will post this tonight. We are no longer going to be just consumers of what the internet has to offer. We will contribute to content in the most meaningful way. On Wednesday and Thursday, we have 12 exciting seminars. 4G LTE, the future is here. It starts at 11 o'clock. Admission is free. 4G LTE is here. You will hear from the Digicel Group. You'll hear from the Ministry of Information. And we have also asked a gentleman who is a pioneer in his own right and an ICT champion, Dr. Patrick Lay, to join us and talk about value-added services in the era of 4G LTE. So we look forward to that presentation and invite you all to participate. For the first time, ladies and gentlemen, one of the biggest ICT companies in the world, Samsung, will be here, and they will be presenting on technologies that can be utilized in the education system, and I invite you to participate in those seminars. All the schedules are online. This year, ladies and gentlemen, we also have the Connect Antigua and Barbuda Biz Tent. I have always and frequently heard the Prime Minister to say that the development of local entrepreneurs is a key contributor to the growth of the nation's economy, and small and micro enterprises have contributed significantly to our nation's growth. the Ministry of Information developed the Connect Antigua and Barbuda Biz platform. This is a multifaceted and revolutionary ICT platform that is helping these businesses move forward. Every category of small business is benefiting from this platform. So I also invite you tonight, when you're visiting the main exhibition in the main hall, to also visit the tent where many of these small businesses are exhibiting. It's no longer just about importing products from the United States. It's about us exporting our products and services to the world as the world economy. So you'll see some of the booths include the Map Shop, Island Vibes Travel, etc. We are putting businesses online. I want to say to you as well that the third component of this fest are the competitions. We've had competitions going back to day one. This year, they're bigger and better. We have the computer assembly race, the graphic design competition, the speed typing competition, and the ICT hunts, all of which take place on Wednesday and Thursday. And if you have a moment, I'd like to invite you to see some of these young people, how connected they are to the inside of computers and how important it is to them to compete in this global economy. And these competitions play a very pivotal role in ensuring that the young and not so young, because we have competitions for the master's category as well. This is a major opportunity for young people to understand ICTs. The competition starts at 9 o'clock tomorrow. It's free, and a special invitation is extended to everybody. The ICT Fest Committee has spent several weeks planning these events, and I can assure you they're very, very exciting. And I also want to welcome Miss Glenda Medford from Barbados, who I know is in the audience, who I particularly invited because I'd like you to see those competitions and what they do for young people. Let me also as well recognize Mr. Cleveland Thomas, the Caribbean area representative for the Caribbean Telecoms Union. Cleveland, thank you for coming back to Antigua. And I gathered that sometime in the month of January or February that the International Telecommunications Union will hold the first follow-up forum to the Connect the Americas Summit, which was held in Panama. The first follow-up forum will take place in Antigua. Ladies and gentlemen, the future is here. Have you ever stopped to ponder what happens in a minute? We will compete. We are preparing Antiguans and Barbudans for the future, but we are preparing them now. I invite you to take a look at what happens in just 1 minute. This is a video clip that has been posted online. And while they queue it up, and I'm ready, Lawson, we know about all these videos. There is a video that came to us. Let's have a look at what happens in 1 minute. And I'm going to tell you about this video, which was just nominated Best Video. It has had 70 million YouTube hits. I think they were having a minor audio problem, so I'll ask my team to start that once again, because these are not facts that we're putting out. The truth is the world is moving at a very rapid pace. I decided to show this video clip because these are actually real stats. In 2007, the Cabinet accepted a blueprint for the widespread deployment of digital technologies nationwide. In 2004, internet penetration was 12%. I referred to it as the connectivity of the elite. And I spoke at a forum in Barbados where I said that I will take on the challenge of reversing this phenomenon where only the elite had access to connectivity. In 2012, 80% penetration, internet penetration rate in Antigua and climbing. We've got it in Bolans, Old Road, John Hughes, Jennings, Villa, Five Islands, Otters. We understand, ladies and gentlemen, as a government, the enabling potential of ICTs and what it can do to transform this society. This is the networked island, working and competing in a networked Caribbean. And we are standing head to head and toe to toe with the networked world. And I want to invite my team to prepare the next 1-minute video clip. The networked world is doing a lot in just 1 minute. Antigua and Barbuda is indeed competing in a networked world. And I'd like you to look at this second 1-minute video clip, ladies and gentlemen. Last year, I stood right here and I challenged the existing operators in the ICT sector to put Antigua and Barbuda first. I asked the operators, all of whom had benefited from this marketplace, to seriously consider investing in 4G LTE technology. 4G LTE technology is so cutting edge, it would make Antigua and Barbuda the first island nation in the world to deploy LTE. First island nation in the world. I am exceedingly happy, as you heard from Victor Corcoran, that a few days ago, Digicel launched the English-speaking Caribbean's first 4G LTE network. We have to understand that connectivity and 4G LTE connectivity and 4G LTE affordable connectivity are passports for every individual in this country to a better life. And I want the media to understand that. I want the media to understand that this is an era where 4G LTE, having been launched by Digicel, can reposition Antigua's economy. I am confident of that. Let me announce that the government of Antigua and Barbuda has been in discussion with another telecommunications operator with respect to the deployment of a second, fourth generation long-term evolution technology platform in Antigua. You need to understand what 4G LTE can do, and I want Lawson and his team to show you a snippet of some of my thought patterns on 4G LTE. At the end of the day, technology is not about gadgetry. It is about people, and it is about the empowerment of people. And if we want to state clearly that Antigua is a place to do business and we are serious about it, I say very simply, welcome to Antigua, welcome to the ICT capital of the Caribbean, welcome to 4G LTE City. This is an era where cutting-edge technology will impact directly on the life of every citizen. And I'm very pleased that less than a year after I articulated the government's policy with respect to 4G, that what we wanted was 4G LTE, that Digicel has come on board fully, and in the coming weeks, coming months, they will launch more than one 4G network, a 4G HSPA Plus network and a 4G LTE network. So we expect to have a major boost in the tourism sector, in the yachting sector. We expect the super yachts to come to Antigua and stay longer and employ more people. We expect the banking sector to become significantly more competitive and consumer-centric so that customers can stay at their mobile device, at their convenience, 24/7, 365, and conduct business in real time. Well, the true beneficiaries of the LTE network will be young Antiguans and Barbudans who will face a competitive future and will grow up in an environment where leveraging on new technologies will be the epicenter of their competitive index. What do I mean by that? Very simply put, we have already begun training Antiguans and Barbudans in universities around the world. I was very pleased to see so many young Antiguans and Barbudans graduating from universities in Cuba. So the deployment of cutting-edge mobile technology, specifically fourth generation long-term evolution technology, will help to position Antigua not only as the ICT capital of the Caribbean, but make this country competitive in every respect. I also expect that government services in all its realms will become significantly more efficient. I am talking about those areas of government that provide real-time services to citizens. I also expect there to be a significant improvement in government's ability to respond to customers' concerns, citizens' concerns in a number of realms, including emergency preparedness. Digicel stepped up to the plate, as you heard, and invested something like $10 million US, and we as a government are promulgating 4G LTE for everybody. As I conclude my remarks, ladies and gentlemen, and I thank you for your indulgence, I want to say that this is an opportune time for government to ask politely of all telecommunications companies, small, big, medium, large, minute, to improve their level of customer care. This issue of customer care has to be twinned with affordable access to technology. I have had the opportunity to discuss this matter with many of the CEOs, and I am hoping that in 2013, that the level of customer care will match the level of the deployment of new technologies. I am confident the telecommunications companies will up their level of customer care, and the government stands willing, ready, and able to collaborate and to cooperate to see how this can take place. The issue of value-added services on an LTE platform extends to the insurance market, the banking sector, the yachting sector, to government, to real estate, and to the media. And later on this month, in fact, I believe it's the 4th week of November, we will collaborate as government with the InfoDev arm of the World Bank, Minister Lovell, to host a one-day symposium here to see what attributes this country has that may enable us to begin to develop apps. This is the next and new frontier. And tomorrow, I believe, we have Miss Michelle George, who I saw early on in the audience. Michelle, you're going to launch a new app tomorrow called Island Guide, developed out of Antigua, but for use by Antiguans and Barbudans and tourists. And I congratulate you for moving in that direction. The government has also been in discussion with a number of outfits regarding the development of the app sector. And I want to say to the Prime Minister and my colleagues, this is an important area. The development of apps and the issue of digital animation is going to occupy the majority of the time of the Ministry of Information in 2013. There is a direct connection between those matters, those areas, and entrepreneurship and wealth redistribution. A number of Caribbean countries are lobbying the World Bank. And I want to say to the Prime Minister, our lobby is going to be front and center, and we will provide some details in due course. So, as I conclude my remarks, I want to welcome to this forum a gentleman who, in my opinion, is a Caribbean icon. He was a gentleman who worked in the telecom sector and has moved to head the Caribbean Examinations Council. I speak of Dr. Didicus Jules, who I know is in the audience. Dr. Jules, can you please stand? Dr. Jules joins us at a time when tomorrow this very room will be transformed and we will begin to work with 40 teachers tomorrow in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and Minister Leandro's team in CXC Notesmaster. We are very serious about benchmarking what teachers need to be doing in a classroom setting. We had 1,600 laptops deployed with broadband to teachers. It's time we get ready to have the students leverage on 4G LTE technology, and in partnership with the Ministry of Education and working with the Caribbean Examinations Council and CXC Notesmaster and that team, we will train 40 teachers tomorrow, and on Thursday an additional 40 in a Train the Trainers program. We need to be serious about getting our teachers to become themselves more competitive and simultaneously getting young Antiguans and Barbudans in the education system competitive. We can't do it alone. The Ministry of Education can't do it alone. Government cannot do it alone. Parents cannot do it alone. But with a team approach, working with the CXC, we can get CXC results in this country to change in the next 4 to 5 years. And I'm talking about dramatically changing it. So I welcome Dr. Jules and his team to Antigua, and we look forward to working with the teachers. I conclude my remarks before we invite the Master Arturo Tapin back on stage for a few moments by thanking the Ictfest 2012 committee and the hard-working teams at the Ministry of Information. We have put on an excellent exhibition for you, ladies and gentlemen. Please visit the booths. Interact with some of these people. They have excellent stories to tell. Thank you for listening to me, and God bless you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
no song that tells a story better than this one of where we've come from and where we're going. And I want to dedicate this to the Honorable Prime Minister, who's the man that will understand the story, not just of Antiguans, but the entire Caribbean. And he knows where he's going to take you all, and all of us in turn. I want to thank everybody for having me here at this wonderful experience with introducing so many people about the importance of the technology necessary. Someone saw me backstage and says, you know, it's ironic that I have this instrument that's so old from the analog era. But I want to let him know I'm very well connected with the digital era. And you see 3 guys up here, but you're going to hear 100. Thank you.
I don't envy the Prime Minister at this stage. But we are still going to invite him to give a few brief remarks.
Clement, you're absolutely correct. Having had such a wonderful performance by Topping and the group, I just wondered whether this is not going to be a bit of an anticlimax. But nevertheless, we'll proceed as planned. May I greet the President of the Senate, the Honorable Hazelyn Mason Francis, my Cabinet colleagues, other members of Parliament, Manager of Digicel OECS North, Mr. Gerard Ashmore, I see you in the audience, and of course, the Manager in Antigua and Barbuda of Digicel, Victor Kokoram, officers within the Ministry of Information, Broadcasting, Telecoms, Science and Technology, officers within the Ministry of Education, Sports, Youth and Gender Affairs, other specially invited guests, students, ladies and gentlemen, listening and viewing audiences, good evening. 5 months ago, we were at this same spot to launch the first module of the Government-Assisted Technology Endeavor, GATE. That program announced the transformation of the ICT landscape in Antigua and Barbuda. Many of you have since seen and experienced the power of ICTs through this initiative by the government through the Ministry of Information. Today, we are here once again to launch the biggest showcase of the power of ICTs in our lives, Ictfest 2012. From the large number of exhibitors involved in this exhibition, there is certainly no doubt that ICTs have taken over as the cornerstone of our nation's thrust towards private sector investment, growth of small businesses, and increased employment. We see today that ICTs have the power to build an infrastructure that is connecting government to its people, businesses to their customers, producers to consumers, and our children to the outside world. I must, at this juncture, take time out to commend Minister responsible for Information, Broadcasting, Telecommunications, Science and Technology, Dr. the Honorable Edmund Mansour, for the unwavering passion he has brought to this sector in Antigua and Barbuda. No one can dispute that the energy and commitment that Dr. Mansour has brought to ensuring that Antigua and Barbuda positions itself as a leading nation in the Commonwealth in ICTs has borne tremendous results. The government and people of Antigua and Barbuda deeply appreciate the work that Dr. Mansour and his team have been doing, along with members of the private and public sectors, in bringing modern technology to every community, doorstep, business, and classroom in our nation. And by the way, we recognize that we have to collaborate with our friends as we move forward with this fantastic program. And we have in our midst a number of members of the diplomatic corps. We have China, Brazil, Venezuela, and Cuba. And of course, we are tapping in to whatever these countries can lend to the process of what we're doing here with ICTs. And I just want to thank them in advance for their efforts in working with us on this very important project. Ladies and gentlemen, as the world advances in information technology, we cannot be left behind. And I can assure you that we will not be left behind. With our partners, including Digicel, the people of Antigua and Barbuda will not only come to expect more, but they will in fact get more. Our quest to make information and communication technology accessible to all in Antigua and Barbuda is a serious promise. We have seen the benefits of ICTs empowering developed nations in how they do business and how they live. It is also achievable in every sector in Antigua and Barbuda. But both private and public, ranging from healthcare, education and sports, to transforming problem solving in non-traditional areas such as the environment and energy management. I wish to highlight at this time one component of the government's thrust forward in delivering the latest state-of-the-art technology to Antiguans and Barbudans. Most recently, the ministry announced that in collaboration with Digicel, and you would have heard it before, it will soon deploy fourth-generation long-term evolution technology and iPads to thousands of our students. Ladies and gentlemen, this gadget, this iPad, has the power to transform teaching and learning and to help our schools deliver fundamentally better experiences and results. Just to give you an example that we really do not intend to be left behind, in Dover, USA, Foxcroft Academy has moved away from providing for students desktops in the library and computer labs to providing students with iPads in what they say have proved that this, and I quote, integrated technology has a positive impact on student learning outcomes, unquote. In an environment whereby our teachers have to compete with the innovativeness our students experience from watching Phineas and Ferb and the like, cue cards and chalkboards will not cut it in today's learning environment. We must put modern technology at the fingertips of our young people. They have shown us adults time and time again that they are children of modern technology by the way they can maneuver through cell phones and computers without any prior knowledge. We owe it to our students, we owe it to our nation to ensure that modern technology is available and affordable. So therefore, I commend Digicel for this partnership in moving forward our ICT program with the offering of 4G LTE connectivity to our nation. Digicel has proven that it is a true leader in technology. I know that other providers are moving in this direction, and I welcome and look forward to them being fully on board. Ladies and gentlemen, Ictfest is a model example of government at work for the people of this nation. I am proud to be associated with this grand event and commend the exhibitors and the presenters for partnering with government in showcasing the best that we have to offer. I look forward to a successful 3 days of discovery, innovativeness, and success. Let us all go forward together in the revolutionary technological advancement that is sweeping our nation. It gives me great pleasure, therefore, to now declare Ictfest 2012 duly open. Thank you very much.
Prime Minister, you're not going to be sitting for too long. We have something that's not on the program, on the official program, but at this time we are going to invite the CEO of Digicel Antigua Barbuda back to the stage, and he's going to present a token to the Prime Minister.
Just a small plaque to award to Honourable Prime Minister Baldwin Spencer to celebrate Antigua and Barbuda being the first island state that we believe worldwide, and definitely the first country in the Caribbean to avail of 4G LTE technology.
I think that if anyone left here and thought that the only thing that people like us did was talk about technology and get carried away by new gadgets, they would be totally mistaken. We've taken a decision this year at the ministry that one of the things we are going to do, and we will hope to do annually, is we are going to look for a charity, and we are going to try to help the community, not only by providing things that technology can do, but recognizing that there are other areas that we can help. And this year, the ministry has chosen the Amazing Grace project as the recipient. And I'm going to invite the representative, Pastor Stephen Samuel, and Miss Asher Phillip from the ministry will do the presentation. Before Asher does the presentation, I would just like to say that what the ministry has come up with is a monetary donation, plus we will be providing technology to the Amazing Grace.
On behalf of the Board of Directors of the Amazing Grace Foundation, I would like to express profound gratitude to the Ministry of Information and 2012 Ictfest for this timely donation. I can assure you that the children living with disabilities will benefit directly from this timely donation. Once again, thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the end of this part of the proceedings. But before we come to a close, there are a couple of reminders that I need to make to you. I want to invite all of you here or thank all of you for attending. I think it's certainly been the best attended opening ceremony that we've had, and I think you deserve a round of applause. I'd also like to take the opportunity to invite you to come back at 7:30 or just a little bit after that to the two seminars. And I'll just remind you that the two seminars that we're having is a photography seminar, which will be held in the seminar room, or what we would say the easternmost room of the complex. Or you are invited here back to this room to listen to Arturo tapping in his master class. I'd also like to invite you, between now and when these two seminars start, to take the opportunity to visit the exhibition. And remember that this year we have an indoor exhibit and an outdoor exhibit. Please support them. A lot of time and effort has gone in by these exhibitors and the ICT Fest 2012 committee. And I want you to enjoy ICT Fest 2012 and get home safely at the end of proceedings. Thank you very much.